Hello, my name is Richard Buin, and I've had a great time with everyone in class so far learning about the areas that matter to you the most. I really appreciate everyone taking the time to listen to a subject that is really near and dear to me. In this presentation, I'll be going over the increased need for military and veteran health and wellness programs. There's an increased number of veterans enrolled at the VA despite the dwindling number of people being able to serve in the military due to being overweight or obese. Although the military has lowered its standards to increase its numbers in recent years, there is still a need for healthy, fit people to fill the military ranks. Unfortunately, the current generation has made it a little harder to acquire volunteers to join the military, so the pool of candidates, even if they wanted to join the military, simply cannot because of their size. The American population has been getting bigger, so the military has slowly increased their weight since 2001. In order to have a healthy and strong fighting force, the American people should have more of an interest in an active lifestyle as well as better nutritional education for the populace. One theory behind this obesity rise is the lowered amount of physical education classes being offered in elementary, middle, and high schools. So the parents' lack of effort to help their kids and just giving into their wants is also a potential culprit. Another aspect that is overlooked is social economic status of veterans. So as shown, the income of veterans isn't that great, and many are just barely getting by to make ends meet. A lot of veterans heavily rely on VA benefits and the VA's healthcare. Only about half of veterans even make a decent wage to sustain a living. But depending on the state the veteran lives in, the cost of living in that area may be much higher than the annual income of the household as being reported. This data is collected from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. The veteran unemployment rate was steadily decreasing over the last decade. Unfortunately, because of our recent pandemic, the coronavirus, it has not helped veterans' employment and may be the potential reason behind the spike on the right side of the graph. As previously mentioned, half of veterans are making at least $35,000 a year, but those are only the ones being reported, and there is no mention of homeless veterans being included in this data. Veteran homelessness has been steadily declining over the last decade. Some hypothetical reasons is a lack of consistent reporting measures and inventory of actual homeless people in the state. To help prevent more homeless from increasing amongst veterans, an exploratory career inventory when at the end of the military service should be given to everyone. Or like I did, get set up and go to school or learn a trade. Other help should include future job market trends and using the GI Bill for government and private sectors to find sufficient and meaningful work which is needed for veterans more than ever. Work camps may be able to help the homeless veterans get back on their feet and have a meaningful existence once again. Around 34% of veterans are in fair or poor health, but the rest are at least in good health. But what does good health constitute, and what does poor health mean? There is still some uncertainty if the homeless are being reported or included in the poor health category. Among all active duty personnel, the prevalence of these conditions was lower than it is for the general U.S. population. Prevalence of high blood pressure, high cholesterol was also reported for the HP 2020 target levels. However, demographic differences, particularly age and gender, between the military and general population make direct comparisons difficult. By pay grade, senior enlisted personnel, warrant officers, and senior officers were more likely to report one or more chronic conditions in their lifetime. Half of the members of these three groups, and more than two-thirds of the higher enlisted ranks and warrant officers. So as reported, at least one or more chronic conditions. Because the pay grade is highly correlated with age, these trends are likely due to some combination of cumulative military experience and aging. Men and women did not differ significantly in the likelihood of reporting chronic conditions. So, if the amount of service members with chronic conditions is high when they get out of service, these members must go to the VA for the rest of their life for treatment. Although it is mentioned that there is a correlation to increased chronic conditions for higher pay grades and their time in service, what is being done to help them recover from these conditions? High blood pressure and cholesterol is usually a result from inactivity and being overweight. Two things that can be easily overcome by increased physical activity and implementation of wellness programs to bring tools to help them succeed. In the information age, the internet is easily accessible by just about anyone. Telehealth is becoming more prevalent in 2021, and veterans are likely to keep this trend to make their appointments easier. This chart shows that there is an increase in virtual programs and access to telehealth related tasks in 2019. 2021, probably even more. Only a couple of metrics did not increase from 2018 to 2019. Watching educational videos and joining an online support group. All other areas were met or exceeded from the previous year. Although there was help being offered, some veterans are just not expressing interest in their health or group supports, which may be cause of not knowing the programs exist in the first place. I still run the airmen on my base, and they didn't even know what I do or that I exist. Sometimes it's just a matter of constantly going out and putting yourself out there into the community. If the programs are offered, more than likely they'll be willing to participate, especially if it's a perk for working there. Mental health is a little better than physical health, and only 25% of veterans are being at fair or poor mental health capacity. So, 3/4 of veterans are reporting that they're doing alright. Although there is no mention of how much activity these members are performing, there's a high correlation to the lack of physical activity and lower mental status, as we know from the research in the field. Some of the big issues military and veterans face are PTSD, obesity, tobacco use, excessive alcohol use, musculoskeletal problems, and reliance on pharmaceuticals. The awareness of these issues, how to combat them, and why they are a problem is not addressed very well during service or when they get out. So physical health and mental health are being reported as good amongst veterans. Are they coping with their daily life, and are they even happy? Most of these issues can be combated with consistent physical activity, a good social support system, and wellness programs. Although veterans say they are getting adequate health care and have a good mental status, only about half are leading a meaningful and purposeful life. This is a cause for concern because there is more going on with veterans than people realize. With around half of veterans making $35,000 or less a year, can you honestly say it's leading a meaningful and purposeful life? Probably not. So how can this be rectified? Health and wellness programs should be implemented during the member's service at consistent increments to inform them of various options and to help them plan accordingly before they get out. The military needs to do a better job at helping its personnel while they're in, because when they get out, their options are limited and frustration arises with the VA trying to claim benefits. There is not enough explanation on how to have a meaningful life and an enjoyable career while leading an active lifestyle. Physical wellness is a direct correlation to mental wellness, and without being physically active and aiding to lower the risk of disease, the veteran's mental well-being and overall health status will steadily decline. Besides physical wellness, there is a joy with relationships and job satisfaction, which is sometimes missed from understanding the different aspects of wellness. In our nation's recent history, service members have needed to rely on the VA for their health care needs. Programs within the VA are always cumbersome and lack specific direction to help the veterans. Most veterans have troubled pain for the rest of their life and vivid memories of war that lead to PTSD, alcoholism, tobacco use, and pharmaceutical reliance. There are an increasing number of programs that help veterans, but how many programs were there when they were actually serving? Until recently, not that many and not often enough. The Army has recently published its Health and Holistic Performance Initiative and is the military's largest branch and has most members enrolled in the VA. More programs are coming around to help veterans and their families, but the amount of people they help is limited, and the resources they provide can only be stretched out so far. So there's a need to inform military members better before they get out and provide programs they can actually use. In the study, work sites with wellness programs had an 8.3 percentage point higher rate of employees who reported in engaging in regular exercise and a 13.6 percentage point higher rate of employees who reported actively managing their weight. So making the cohesion from military to veteran workplace wellness can't work. Two things have started off: increase in physical activity and managing weight. These two mainly involve exercise and nutritional education, and in the study it shows that increased participation in wellness programs with reporting measures than any other metric. The participants in the study have also experienced an increase of positive health behaviors compared to others that were not enrolled in the program. So, informing veterans to be more conscientious about their health and improve their fitness and work toward a healthy weight will help them increase their healthy behaviors in a positive direction. It was noted that the observational research has shown a lower number of sick days and improved health markers for increased workplace wellness programs as well. So, more productivity and work output for personnel is highly likely. So, if military members were incentivized to take better care of themselves, would other health metrics inevitably increase? In this study, there was a significant difference in workplace wellness programs that offered financial incentives. The limitation of the study was that it mainly looked at increasing health screenings as part of its personal preventative care services, not to increase the health care and well-being of the company's members. The next follow-up to this study would be an introduction to physical activity and weight management options to show it will decrease the risk of cancers, cholesterol, and heart disease. It was interesting that there was more participation in this program to check up on their health, but can lead to more impactful behavioral modifications later if the participants had listened to a 30-minute talk first or during their wait time. There are an increasing number of programs for veterans, but they should be laid out better throughout the course of their service and before they get out. Some of the data and metrics don't seem to add up, which means there are poor reporting measures to be taken into consideration. Wellness programs do work, and they should be implemented better in the military and the VA as well as U.S. population. Obesity in the United States is getting out of control, and our fighting force that helps us protect our freedoms needs to be taken care of better. PTSD and mental health is another aspect that needs to be taken into consideration when transitioning from the military to the civilian life for interacting with others. Health and wellness programs should be a viable resource that needs to be integrated into all parts of society to benefit our future military members and population before, during, and after service. So here's my references. I'll put them in the description below if you want to learn more about them for the hyperlinks, or if you're in my class, you also get them as well. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to a problem I face with my work and how I've progressively been trying to make an impact for our military and veterans. I've had enlightening experiences reading over everyone's discussion posts and interacting with you during the time throughout this class. I look forward to hearing from everybody's topic this week and hope that everyone has a great day and enjoy your weekend.